headed by Mr. Navin Joshua, the founder of GreenHonchos. The topic that we're going to look in is going to be the cracking the D2C scale code with profitability. Can we have a round of applause to welcome Mr. Navin Joshua on the dais, please?
Hi, very good evening to all of you. Navin Joshua from GreenHonchos. We're a D2C enabler. Interesting one, the one especially in green, because typically it would have been in red. We're here to try and see if we can help change the color. So I think D2C today has been an extremely interesting day. We had another such day yesterday as well. A lot of legacy brands, emerged brands were there yesterday. But the excitement and the active interest of everyone here on the D2C day is absolutely superb. So thanks everyone. The other interesting thing is there's a lot of intent to really know whether there's only demand generation or is it the full circle. As GreenHonchos, we play an active part in this space. So I'd love to just share, I think my time's about 10 minutes, so I'll try and wrap up before that. To my good luck, I think our partner from Razorpay did a great job at an icebreaker, because at about 5 in the evening on day 2, a slightly tough one. But I think every business owner can resonate with some of this. There definitely are some barriers to growth, even in the digital space. The struggle is not scale, but the struggle is NRR, or net realized revenue. We've kind of put in about 5 or 6 spaces. We do understand that it is a fragmented tech ecosystem. Just in the after hours yesterday, a lot of us as enablers in the ecosystem were all just chatting, and we were actually talking about how we actually do a great job in confusing brands. Because it is very fragmented. Just as a case and example, we actually met a brand that was using similar competing products on the same tech stack, and they were just using half of both rather than full of one, because that's how fragmented it is, and money goes out to everyone. High cost of acquisition. I think there are separate slides on these, but very quick ones. We'll keep it graphical. I think the increase in CPMs, the decrease in CTRs, Facebook, especially a lot of new age brands here. A lot more is about push marketing. Pull will come later. Pull is a long-term investment. Push is quicker. It's a faster dope, but this is an increasing challenge. We all know about the low CLV, the customer lifetime value. RTO, we've got some guys here that do a great job there as enablers, but just purely RTO basis, pin code and serviceability or logistics just scratches the surface. Decision making in terms of dashboarding and figuring out what are the KPIs to look out for when you're looking to scale your D2C, I think continues to be a big challenge. And the holy grail, conversion rate. I do believe that when you look at conversion rate, it may be a slightly lopsided metric, because you need to look at all the funnel metrics. But yes, the end goal is conversion. So I just have 3 or 4 slides with visuals so that everyone can keep their eyes open for a bit. We do believe that the journey of content to commerce is probably what some of the new age brands have done really well and are really being able to pull away and differentiate themselves from the others. But the opportunity lies for everyone. The situation is such that the media on which all of us are advertising, in terms of eyeballs in the digital landscape, is all extremely cluttered, and we know that. The 2 metrics at the top of the funnel are cost per impressions, or CPMs, or cost per mile, 1,000 miles as they call it. And the other is CTRs, or click-through rates. And they both have nothing to do with the website. They really only have to do with the quality of creatives, the quality of storytelling, and the quality of narrative. So, and obviously your targeting, etc., which is still at the absolute top of the funnel. We believe that brands, and you would also be able to think through that brands that have a story to tell are the ones that have higher CTRs and lower CPMs. So the journey of content to commerce is something that, we absolutely endorse to build the narrative for driving conversions. Second of the last 4 slides is customer acquisition. We keep talking about that. I talked about that as a challenge as well as an opportunity. Little strange one, we talk about organic being the new paid, but that's not true. What we just mean to say is that the over-dependency on Facebook ads, Google ads, and I do say that with a pinch of salt, and I also hear the pain of a lot of brands when they figured out that the CACs have absolutely increased manifold quarter on quarter, and there's no other way to sustain the top line but to keep putting in money. I was talking to an investment banker today who managed to be here, and he was saying that when anyone raises funding, happier than the founder of the company is actually Facebook and Google, because the money is largely going towards them. So they're very happy with that. And when we all talk about that scenario being slightly dried up, I think the ones frowning the most are again Facebook and Google rather than the founders, because the founders have the innovation to be able to jiggle between other forms. So when we talk about customer acquisition, we're talking about, I'll give you an example, how about trying to bring in, for lack of a better word, cheaper top of the line, top of the funnel traffic, as cheap as 2 or 3 times lesser than a Facebook or a Google or an Instagram, and then retargeting it via the same ad platforms for better ROI. Also, organic or non-paid, influencer, other formats of traffic that could get higher conversions would be the way to go. I think there's a strange KPI. One of them is just top line. But for businesses, if we can also have a KPI that says what percentage of my business is going to come from non-Facebook, it might be an interesting one amongst other problems to solve. Yes, and tying into that, where we're talking about the lifetime value, repeat purchase, I guess we all know in any form of commerce, and this holds good for, and I say that often, I think every business has always been D2C, but I think the new age businesses have really taken on D2C in a different avatar. But in any retail or e-retail business, I think the repeat purchase is what comes via the experience, and the experience seems fairly distorted, especially when the cookie crumbles between the pre-order and the post-order. That is where we believe there is, I think, the lowest conversion rates are in D2C. Even marketplaces have a higher conversion rate if you just happen to look at glance view versus purchase. And that is because the spray and pray in the top of the funnel continues to exist more and more as clutter increases. Trying to sharpen that funnel through better communication, through better notifications, trying to inform, interest, and involve a consumer to become a long-term consumer. I think those are the basics that also apply not only for traditional businesses, but for e-retail. A couple of our partner clients here, sitting in the middle, Mayank is one of them. We always talk about, what is the percentage of repeat customer? What does the cohort look like? What percentage of my customers are coming through the app that we can actually push differently rather than just putting dollars at the top of the funnel? All of them are actually part of enhancing the ecosystem 360 of consumer experience. So, last couple of slides. Yeah, profitability is the white elephant in the room. It's not white, but just looked better. And Shutterstock had this one. But I think one of the biggest challenges that even in the marketplace business, and I'm completely talking from the digital side of it, that's what today's session's for, is that the lag indicators are much more than the lead indicators. Whereas on the D2C side, you actually have much more real-time information, whether it is for payment collection, whether it is for logistics, whether it is for in-transit, pretty much in sometimes a 2-day cycle to a 7-day cycle, you probably have the opportunity to get everything reconciled. However, the dashboards aren't great. When we started working with certain brands that were scaling up to thousands of orders a day, we realized that the brand or the product already had that salience, either through offline or through marketplaces. So scale was not even the issue. They would even be able to do 10,000 orders a day. And that's a significant for an own D2C. The challenge largely was to figure out in the KPI dashboard whether it's a profitable sale or not. And that, I believe, we're talking about as the lead indicators versus the lag indicators. Some things like how can, if possible, how can the percentage of prepaid increase? How can the RTO come down by a notch? I think a lot of us are trying to actually work on larger data sciences or data warehouses where we are able to share network-related information, not just location or PIN code-related information, but just customer-related non-identifiable information saying, during the course of the purchase, this customer will only have a particular payment type to be able to pay with, or particular PIN codes from which it could be serviceable. So I think trying to tie the pre-order with the post-order is what results in higher net ROI rather than a gross ROI. And it's probably the last slide here. We do believe that the MarTech ecosystem is here to stay. A better converting cart, a better checkout. The core web vitals are now the new benchmark or standard in terms of the algorithm and how input funnel metrics like bounce rates, etc., can keep dropping, and that every bit of efficiency results in a higher ROAS or conversion. We also believe that the headless architecture is the way to go. The retrofitted or monolithic architectures in tech are no longer preferred, and developed countries or economies around the globe have already moved to headless. From a platform standpoint, we talked a lot about customer experience, and our bet is placed around data warehousing, using ML and AI in actually pretty much in our next release coming up with what we'll be able to empower with dashboards as well as giving input metrics where a business owner will be able to say, here is what your predictive ROAS is going to be. So I guess from tech to digital, that's the journey that we're trying to traverse. Hopefully this keynote was of some use to you guys. I'll just pass it on to the next session. That's for my time. Thank you. So I'll just pass it on to Sudhir.
Thank you so much. I request Mr. 𝐿okesh to kindly join us onto the dais to honor. So sorry, yaar.
Yeah, no.
It's like bouncing on me. Mr. Navin Joshua, I'm sorry. Can we have you on the center stage, please? Can we have a picture, please, of both of you? Thank you so much.